This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 607. Clean Eating is a Scam and Why You Should Abandon It, Part 2, by Deen of JCD and I'm Dr. Neil. Hey there, happy Tuesday, and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I simply read to you from the best health and fitness blogs for free. I cover fitness, nutrition, stress management, weight management, and lots more, just like an audiobook, but from a bunch of different authors, and always with permission from the sites. All right, as you can probably tell from the title, this topic is probably going to rile some people up. So much of the way we eat is tied to our belief system, and that's totally okay. But what I ask and what JC asks is you remain as objective as you can as you listen to his words. So again, today's post is part 2 from yesterday. So if you're new here or skipping around, I'd recommend listening to yesterday's episode first. But if you're all caught up, let's hear part 2 and JC's take on clean eating as we continue optimizing your life. Clean Eating is a Scam and Why You Should Abandon It, Part 2, by Deen of JCDFitness.com. Clean Eating Exposed. While there is no real basis as to what constitutes a clean and a dirty source of food, the idea is still prevalent to this day. Allow me to educate you on why this faulty type of thinking stands firm. I have no clue where the concepts came about or who originally coined these terms, but I think they're awful, and here's why. Typically, clean foods are considered to be whole, unprocessed, low-calorie choices, and dirty foods tend to be higher in calories, full of flavor, the occasional man-made compounds such as artificial sweeteners or trans fats, and they're only acceptable every once in a while, and for some, never. Many people think that clean eating will produce the muscle gain and fat loss results you want, while a diet full of dirty food will give you subpar results at best. However, this makes no sense when looking at the macro composition of foods that are often referred to as clean or dirty. If I were to sit the stereotypical fitness junkie down for a flashcard test, in which he or she labeled foods as dirty or clean based upon a picture, this is likely how I imagine it would go. Flashcard, pizza. Fitness junkie response, dirty. Flashcard, tomato, olives, shredded cheese, onions, beef. Fitness junkie, well, that's clean. Next, flashcard, stir fry with white rice. Fitness junkie's response, dirty. Flashcard, brown rice, broccoli, asparagus, chicken. Fitness junkie's new response, clean. Next, flashcard, white bread. Fitness junkie, dirty. Flashcard, whole grain, wheat bread. Fitness junkie, well, now that's clean. Without further ado, I'm certain you get the point, and here's why it makes no sense. Let's take a pizza pie, for example. I love pizza, and I love even more so to make my own at home. I eat the same foods day in and day out, so spicing up my diet with something like a fresh pizza is always a treat. The typical ingredients for a pizza are dough, crushed tomatoes, cheese, meat like beef, pork, chicken, etc., olive oil, lots of veggies, and sometimes fruit like pineapple. All of these foods by themselves are typically deemed clean by the informed fitness enthusiast. Combine them for an awesome pizza pie, and you have a solid, tasty meal. We've garnered some sort of negative connotation with these foods that are traditionally higher in calories, mainly because of the fast food way of preparing them, like lots of oil and other high-fat items. But in reality, there's nothing different about the macro composition. And this is why many people will allow their social lives to take a nosedive, all because of some false belief that a slice or two of pizza will make their waistline expand, but an equal caloric amount of brown rice and chicken won't. Sure, you have trans fats, some extra sugar, and processed flour, but from an energy balance standpoint, it's pretty much the same. One is just more calorie dense. Now, let's take a look at how this myth began to cripple me. How a new hobby turned into mental chaos. After the competition was finished, we headed over to the local 24-hour diner. I ordered the fattest plate of eggs, bacon, sausage, pancakes, waffles, hash browns, and cheesy grits you've ever seen. It would have made Adam Richman of Man vs. Food very proud. If I had the money, I would have gotten the entire dessert menu for my appetizer. For most, after long periods of clean eating, you're supposed to have a cheat meal. Mine was epic. The mental anguish I experienced a few days later was more than I could bear. After seeing a full row of abs completely blurred out as a result of the sheer amount of food and sodium I inhaled, I was in shock. It was traumatizing to witness all of my hard work completely undone. Little did I know that it was only water retention, and I would return to normal a few days later. Now, when this happens, I just brush it off, because I know in a few days the water will flush out and I'll return to my previous aesthetics. Then, however, I had no such clue. And this is where a bad cycle began, all because of this view I had about clean eating and what I thought it was. You see, at this point, the only smart thing to do would have been to cut back on the cardio, tone down the weight training for a few weeks, and take a well-deserved break. But I didn't. I fully believed in the go hard or go home approach, so I kept everything up. Except this time, I was more devoted than ever. I even started separating my meals into protein/carb and protein/fat portions for fear of fat storage. What did this mean exactly? It meant I was the only one abstaining from pizza during social outings. It meant omitting the bun from my hamburgers during our Sunday evening cookouts. It also meant I ordered the naked chicken tenders with water instead of enjoying the wings and beer with all my buddies at the bar. It was all because of my obsession with the clean and unclean myth that plagues many fitness enthusiasts' psyche even to this very hour. Someone out there right now is worrying incessantly about whether or not to have some melted cheese on their chicken and rice when, in the end, it doesn't really matter as long as calories are controlled. This went on for a period of time. I wasn't making progress and was tired of spinning my wheels. Luckily, I found a coach who pointed me in the right direction. The truth is, people like me and many others have been on both sides of the fence, and not just the clean eating side. I've gone through periods of time where all I ate was sugary cereal and white bread for my carbohydrate sources, with no ill effect. Nothing. I didn't magically gain any fat or lose any muscle. I'd say the only real difference I noticed was a slight increase in hunger, just because there's very little fiber in those food choices, and they're easier for me to overeat. So yes, I know what it's truly like to be married to a false concept. I also know what it's like to break that bond. The grass really is greener over here, by the way. Clean eating and cheat meals. Don't get caught up. The last concept I want to mention is the cheat meal situation. A cheat meal usually consists of a food that you've been abstaining from for whatever reason. It makes it really easy to overeat those foods when we decide to have them. But what are you accomplishing as a result? Since most cheat meals by nature consist of a boatload of calories you've been depriving yourself of for weeks and even months, it does nothing for your long-term strategy. This is because for many, the few days after a cheat meal, sometimes resulting in a binge, usually consist of excess exercise and a lack of nutrients. After a few days of deprivation, you have the urge to cheat yet again. A different approach would be to regularly include off-limit foods into your diet, so you never really have to go off your diet. You'd simply just enjoy your favorite foods more often. Food is neither clean nor unclean, but merely energy my body needs to function and survive. That's it. If you look at it this way, there's no reason you can't fit a brownie in for a dessert a few times per week. By going about it this way, you eliminate the desire for a full-on cheat meal, and you'll prove to yourself that the clean eating concept is a made-up belief all along. It doesn't exist. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled, Clean Eating is a Scam and Why You Should Abandon It, by JC Deen of JCDFitness.com. Dr. Neil again here. Okay, are you riled up this time? And again, I wouldn't blame you if you are. As I said before, food is so intertwined with our belief system that it would be hard not to feel offended if you really believed in clean eating. His point was, let's not be so obsessed that it impacts our social lives, that it impacts our mental health. We don't want to have to feel like we have to deprive ourselves of something that we like for weeks and months on end, because again, that doesn't make for a very happy life. So if we can remain objective and look at the core of what JC's trying to say, really, he just wants us all to be happy. In my experience working with patients and teaching group health education classes, I would find that when folks had to deprive themselves of something, they often wanted it more. It was like they craved it more. And then when they would get it, they would binge on it. And again, that's just my anecdotal evidence. There are some data that support this concept as well, but everybody's different. Some folks can deprive themselves and they are perfectly fine. They don't obsess about it, but others not so much. So again, find out what works for you. If clean eating keeps you on track and helps you to eat more unprocessed whole foods, then by all means go for it. Just try not to be too obsessed with it if you can. Oh, and really quickly before I go, if you want to be part of a group of like-minded people and interact with some of the hosts of our shows, join our Facebook group. You can find it by searching for Optimal Living Daily Podcasts on Facebook, or the shortcut link is oldpodcast.com/Facebook. We do bonus book giveaways there and lots more. I thank you as always for being here. Thank you for listening every day. Hope you're having a great week so far, and I'll be back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this show and Optimal Living Daily, the brother podcast of this one. Literally, I'm Dr. Neil's brother. If you like the format of this show, you'll love Optimal Living Daily too, where I also read to you from blogs, but cover other topics like personal development, finance, and minimalism from bloggers like Derek Sivers, The Minimalists, Zen Habits, and many more. So for more amazing content read to you for free, come subscribe to Optimal Living Daily too, and together we'll optimize your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Health Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.